What's up, guys? Jordan Savage here. Just wanted to run through the home buying process with you here today. First off, we're Alaska Realty experts. We're located in Anchorage, Alaska. We also operate in Wasilla and Palmer and Big Lake. We have team members all over the place, so it's pretty cool to have those boots on the ground. But I want to get fired up with you today to talk about this happens after you are pre-approved with the lender. So once you're pre-approved with the lender, we're going to go out, we're going to start that home search. So I'm going to be sending you properties and we're going to kind of whittle it down to 3 to 5 per showing. So we'll head on out, we'll look at 3 to 5 houses and we'll just continue to whittle down that list until we find you the right one. Once we find that list, it's time to make an offer. Once we find the one out of that list and we're ready to rock and roll, we'll sit down and we'll talk about the purchase agreement. Now, what the purchase agreement is going to be is it's going to be all the terms and merits of our contract, price, closing costs, and every little detail in between. So we'll go through all of that once we get there. We're also going to combine that with the earnest money. In Alaska, it's typically 1%. That's the handshake of the deal. Now, that is still your money, and we'll talk more about that here in a minute. Number 3 is the lender pre-approval letter. So that's why that's the first step is it's kind of like having a loaded gun. If you don't have your pre-approval, you're walking around with an unloaded gun, it's worthless, right? It's just a paperweight. Once that baby's loaded, you pull the trigger anytime, gun goes bang. So from there, we're gonna submit the offer and did it get accepted? Yes, if so, we move to the home inspection. If no, then basically they're gonna counter us until we go to a yes. And either way, we're gonna end up at the home inspection. Now, once we're here, this is basically our time to have a third party come in and inspect the home on your behalf. They don't work for me, they don't work for the lender, they work for you, okay? They also accept cash, personal check, credit card, and they want to be paid at the time of inspection because they're going to create a report for us that we're going to produce our repair amendment off of. Now, repairs are broken down into 3 categories. You can see right here, you have health and safety, super important ones. Those are basically life, limb, and death. And so then you have also your recommended repairs, a little less of a big deal, and then maintenance items, which are really small things like maybe doorknobs and stuff like that. So from there, they're going to cut us a report. From the report, that's how we're going to negotiate our repairs. And similar to making our offer, if they say yes, we're going to keep moving. If they say no, we're going to counter until we come to a common ground. And at that point, we're going to order the appraisal. So basically what an appraisal is it's basically just to make your lender happy with the purchase that we're making, right? So that's just to appease them and make sure that you're not making a terrible purchase. So that's another third party that's going to come in and just verify that, this house is what we say it is and it's worth what you're paying. So basically once the appraisal comes back, is it at value or is it above value? If it's above value, that's great. You have instant equity in the home. If it's below value, then we have to go back to negotiating. And usually what's going to happen is the seller is going to drop the price, but sometimes you can come out of pocket and pay the cash. But most people don't really want to do that because they don't want to start out upside down on their house. So once we get there, once we negotiate through that, if we even hit that, which is pretty rare, but once we go through that, we're going to drop down here to where it's the point for you to get your homeowner's insurance. Now, your homeowner's insurance, you can go a couple different ways. So you can quote anybody you want, but typically you get a little bit of a deal when you bundle. So whoever you have your car insurance with, I would definitely quote them. And there's a couple other local places that I'll recommend to you as well. And we're also going to accomplish the title insurance. So what title insurance is, it's just them making sure, it's the title company making sure that nobody else has an interest in this property and there's no encumbrances that could affect you later. We want you to get a free and clear title on this thing. So if you're buying a property in the valley, well and septic will be an issue. This is usually a seller paid cost. So the seller will handle this, but it's definitely going to be something that needs to be accomplished. So on the waterfront, we're going to test for nitrates, nitrites, arsenic, and chloroform and make sure that that passes. On the septic test, they're going to run 150 gallons of water through for each bedroom in the home simultaneously. So a lot of water going through there. You'll never put that big of a demand on your septic, but we want to make sure that it can handle that level of volume. So from there, did it pass? Yes, no, and we're kind of back to negotiating repairs if it's a no. usually seller will pick those up. Sometimes we might have to bump up the purchase price because they might not have the money in their pocket to get that done. We just kind of negotiate that at the time. From there, though, we're free and clear. We cut the closing disclosures, and then basically that's all the final numbers on the transaction, and you'll sign that. And then 3 days later, we have the option to either 3 days from signing the closing disclosure, we can close. But the next step is, did we have any major things that came up in the inspection? If so, like say we got a roof replaced or a furnace replaced or something like that, we're gonna wanna pop back up and have that inspector come back out and just verify that those are up to par. If it was pretty minor repairs, then we could probably knock it out on the final walkthrough, stuff like smoke detectors, right? We can walk through, I know what a smoke detector looks like, especially a new one, and you do too. So we can walk through, we can verify that stuff's there. We don't need to spend 200 bucks. So your funds that you're gonna require at closing, if you do require any, are gonna need to be in a certified check. We're gonna show up, you're gonna sign, and we're gonna close. In Alaska, everything takes a little bit longer. So we'll be recording the next business day. And from there, I'm gonna ask you for a wonderful online review and testimonial. And if you have any friends or family, we would always appreciate referrals. So that is the home buying process. If you hung with me for this long, and you haven't accomplished the first step, which is getting pre-approved, I'm gonna drop a link down in this video on YouTube for you to check out. You can click that link. It's actually an app you can download on your phone, and you can fill out the lender app in 5 to 10 minutes. So it's really super simple. I hope this helped you. If you have any questions about any portion of this, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to get your questions answered. You have a great day. Bye-bye.